How you guys doing today? As you can tell, my ensemble is a little different, but just do it. It's probably backwards. You probably can't see that, but nevertheless, today I want to talk to you guys about what to do if you receive a summons to appear in court. Court documents from a debt collection agency that's about to sue you. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection companies. Over the last 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit. Now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. Now, I have to give this disclosure. Obviously, the reality is the laws are different in every single state. If you do receive a summons to appear in court, one of the first things that I recommend everybody do is you contact an attorney. I am not an attorney. The information that I'm giving you is for informational purposes only. So, you're at home and you're served with a summons to appear in court, or maybe it came certified mail in your mailbox. You get the letter, right? You open the letter because you don't know what this is. And then you notice it is some debt collection agency about to sue you with regards to a debt that you allegedly owe. The first thing that I want you guys to think about at this time span is, and the first thing that I don't want you to do is to ignore it. Ignoring that information that has prudent in it. I don't care if you can't afford to pay it or what the situation is. Do not ignore it. Because if you ignore it, what will happen is you'll get a default judgment. What is a default judgment? Is that what you're asking me? I'll tell you guys. What a default judgment is basically a judgment that debt collection agency will get. Whatever they're saying that they want within that summons to appear in court, when they go to court, if you do not show up, they'll get a default judgment. You don't want that to happen. Because whatever they request, they'll actually get. Even if they said the account was $20,000 and the account was $2,000, if you do not show up, if you take that letter and you ignore it, they'll get a default judgment against you. So what should you do? What I recommend, and it's my opinion, is that you file an answer, right? You have to file an answer typically. And I know a lot of times some of these courts will force you to pay a fee in order to file an answer. But you have to file an answer with regards to receiving that summons, right? And the way you file an answer is with a debt validation letter. So I would recommend that you send that debt validation letter not only to the courts, but you send it to the creditor as well, the debt collection agency. Why am I asking you to send a debt validation letter? The reason why is because a lot of debt collection companies, through an affidavit of indebtedness, all they need is your first, last name, and your social to file the suit. They're banking on you defaulting a lot of times because that's what will happen. So with that debt validation letter, it'll force them to show that they actually own the account, how they bought the account, and actually they can actually file suit on the account, right? It pits their feet to the fire a little bit and forces them to provide the proper documentation that this alleged debt is even yours, right? A signed contract, something along those lines. It makes it a little more difficult with regards to doing so. Let me tell you guys something. I worked in the legal department for about a year. It was probably about my second or third year in debt collections, right? And like I stated before, with an affidavit of indebtedness, they can file the suit. They have your first, last name, your social security number. Even though this account may not even be yours, they can start the process of filing the suit. Be sure to file an answer, obviously. That way it forces the debt collection company to provide documentation showing that they actually owe the account and they can collect on the account. And in fact, it is in fact you, for whatever reason, that it is in fact you. I want to say something out there to you guys who are business owners. business owners who are actually making money, you know, filing taxes at the end of the year. You have an EIN number, you're actually filing your articles of information, you actually have income coming in, you pay yourself, even if it's just a self-employed or you're paying employees. I remember I had a consumer who owed probably about 14 grand. This is story time now. I'm going to tell you this. And before getting an actual judgment and before taking him to court, I got him on the phone and I tried to get him to settle out his account. And he refused. And I, of course, mentioned like, hey, if you don't pay, there's a possibility your wages can get garnished, a few other things. And the one thing that he said to me was, is while I'm on my own business, you ain't going to be able to do anything with regards to that. And I remember him hanging up. A couple months later, we get the judgment. And I even gave him a call at this time span to try and get him to pay the account voluntarily. For whatever reason, he still said, you're not going to be able to do anything. Yeah, you got a judgment. It's not going to do anything to me. What the attorney in the office did is what we call a tilt tap. So this consumer owned a barber shop. So basically what happened was the sheriff went inside of his place of employment. Or not his place of employment, but his business, right? And all the money that was going to be made for a certain amount of time, I think it was like 4 hours or maybe it was a day, I don't remember, so long ago, went straight to the sheriff, and then the sheriff takes that and gives it directly to us. And I'll never forget, when that sheriff showed up, I knew through the grapevine that it was happening on that specific date. That guy immediately called me up because of his business. He didn't like the fact, it was a barbershop. He didn't like the fact that there was a sheriff in the building scaring off some of his customers and customers wondering what the heck is going on, having to deal with the embarrassment. He called me up and he immediately paid. Now, mind you, this guy, if he would have took care of it before, he wouldn't even have owed. He owed the 14 grand plus court and attorney fees and whatever else it was with regards to getting the funds from him. I think he ended up owing like 17 grand when he had a chance to pay maybe 6 or 7 grand to take care of it. So I say that to say to you guys who are business owners as well, it's not only when a default judgment or a judgment happens on behalf of a debt collection company, they can do wage garnishment, which is one of the main things that they'll do with regards to a judgment, and you don't want that to happen. For those of you who are working 9 to 5, they can place a lien on property, right? If you own property, they can place a lien on that property. They can do a bank levy, which is where I don't care how much money you have in your account, they can actually siphon that account up to the a certain amount of money or however much is owed, and depending on how much money is in your bank account. But they could take it all at one point in time, and then they could do a tilt tap, which is what I said before, where they can go in your place of business and take your money for the day to pay off the debt until it's obviously paid in its entirety. And this can happen a couple days in a row. So default judgment comes in, don't ignore it. I mean, a summons comes in, don't ignore it, because you don't want a default judgment. You want to fight it as much as you possibly can. I do encourage you getting an attorney with regards to that, but obviously file that answer and give yourself some time to make sure, because like I stated, debt collection agencies, they bank on the fact that what? That you will not respond. So be sure to do that. Down below, there's a bunch of free stuff. We got the free letter bundle. Pay to delete, cease and desist, goodwill letter. Opt in for that. Check that information out. It'll help you on your credit journey. It's a free token from me. Just input your information. You'll get that absolutely for free. No questions asked. And for those of you, if you're in the 4s, the 5s, or 6s on your credit, down below is a 20-minute consultation. Not everybody is a fit. This is not about a ploy of just getting you to do it. But right now, with the economy and with inflation and everything that is transpiring, I encourage every single person to invest in yourself. And the best way to start investing in yourself is to get your credit in order. There's about to be a lot of sales happening. There's about to be a lot of stuff happening and transpiring within the next year or two. Have your credit in order so that you can take advantage of the sale that's about to go on. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great. great. See you guys next time.